Hobbiton. So last time I talked about my volunteer year in New Zealand where I worked at an outdoor camp, and during that year I had a little bit of free time and days off, and in that time I tried to see as many places in New Zealand as I could and traveled a lot. And today I want to talk about my experiences and the places I visited in New Zealand. Hobbiton is a place near Matamata where the outdoor camp was, and there I went for a day, and you can do a tour around Hobbiton. So that's where The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings was filmed, and you take a bus and then you actually drive directly to where they filmed it, and then you have a guided tour around the houses where they lived and the pond, and everything was filmed, and it was amazing to see how it actually looks like. Another very cool place was the Bay of Islands, which is north of Auckland, and this is just a super cool landscape where there are lots of little bays and little islands, and it's very good for going for a swim or doing little hikes, and there are lots of sheep on the grass, and this clear blue water was just amazing. The Coromandel is another really cool place in New Zealand, and there's the famous Cathedral Cove where Narnia was filmed, and it's also famous for the very beautiful beaches. One of my favorite walks in New Zealand was the Tongariro crossing, which is near the Lake Taupo in the middle of the North Island, and this is about a 20-kilometer long walk, and you start and actually walk a mountain up, and then when you're halfway up, you see a volcano on the right side, and this was an amazing view because I've never seen a volcano before. And then you actually walk even further up, and once you're at the top you have the super cool and best view I've ever seen, because there are two lakes at the bottom, and the one is green and the other one is turquoise blue, and this was so amazing, and then mountains in the background, and it was just a really amazing view. One big holiday I spent in the South Island of New Zealand, which is really beautiful and has so many beautiful places to offer, just as the North Island. And we took the ferry down there, which was a cool experience. And then one of my favorite places on the South Island is the ABEL Tasman National Park, and there we did a short hike, like 5 to 6 hours on one day, and there we went along the coast, and there are just these beautiful beaches with the clearest water I've ever seen. It's just like turquoise and green and clear and just perfect. And then we hiked along there and then took the ferry back, and that was just a super amazing day, and the woods there are also really nice. Along the west coast there are also beautiful places like the Pancake rocks. This is just a really cool rock formation. Another really cool experience was taking a boat in the MILFORD Sound. Sadly the weather wasn't really good, so we couldn't see that much of the mountains, but still it was cool because we saw dolphins which swam right in front of the boat for quite a long time, and that was really nice. Then we also went to the Fox Glacier, and I've never been to a glacier before, so that was another cool thing, but you can't really go there. So there's a viewing platform which is about 50 to 100 meters away from the glacier itself, so you can have a great view on it, but you can't really go on it or right next to it. The Mount Aspiring National Park in the South Island was another cool place, because especially the blue pools were really nice, because there was this super clear blue water, and then the rocks like on the side, and then the green trees next to it, and it was just a cool contrast and really nice colors. One day we hiked near the Remarkables. There's a big mountain, and there we went up, and there was actually snow up there, and so we threw some snowballs, which was nice, and then there was a lake up top, and behind that were mountains with snow on it. And this is also a place where Lord of the Rings, like in one part, was filmed too. Rotorua is a very interesting and fascinating city because it is in a geothermally active region. So there's mud bubbling everywhere and steam is coming up from a lake, and you can actually put your feet in the hot water even in winter. Lake Taupo is the biggest lake in New Zealand, and it's a really nice lake, and there's the Waikato River, and just right next to the lake there are the Huka Falls, which are really amazing waterfalls. It's just super big, and there's so much water just coming through, and the water is also super clear, so that's a really nice attraction. New Zealand is famous for all the very beautiful waterfalls, and one of them is the Wairere Falls, which is near to where my camp was, so near Metamata, and it is the highest waterfall in New Zealand. And just all these waterfalls are super amazingly beautiful. And when I came back to Germany, I was thinking when I went to a waterfall, oh, it doesn't really look that nice, oh, it's just a waterfall, because I got used to all the very beautiful waterfalls in New Zealand, that I don't really treasure them here in Germany, but they are actually really nice. A really amazing experience was water skiing in New Zealand, and I've done that once before in Germany, but now I've done it on a lake with a boat, and it was a really amazing experience. And after that I really loved water skiing, and I just wanted to do it again and again, but here in Germany I don't really have the possibilities. And in New Zealand there are so many beautiful places where you can watch the sunrise or sunset, especially on the beach. It's just nice, and I've seen so many beautiful places, because when you go camping you're always outdoors, so just in the evening you can relax, sit down and then watch one of the beautiful sunsets in New Zealand. I always wanted to see a kiwi, but I never saw it in nature. But once we were at a camping ground and we heard noises from a kiwi, but we couldn't find it or see it. Well, we didn't really walk there because then they'd probably run away. But then one time we went to a place where you can see kiwis, and there we saw many kiwis, and also these tiny little kiwis that were just born a few weeks ago. Because rugby is the national sport in New Zealand, you should definitely check out one of the games. It's just a super cool experience. While traveling through New Zealand, we mostly used a car, so we just drove with the car through the whole country, and then we stopped at camping grounds for the night, and some of them are free and others are just $5 or $10, so it's really not that expensive. And they're mostly in the nature and at super cool places, so it's really nice to camp in New Zealand, and there are lots and lots of camping grounds. And also just while driving you see so much landscape and beautiful nature, so you don't even have to get out to see so many different places of New Zealand. So when we drove for 1 or 2 hours, we still saw so much of New Zealand. So many roads are empty, so you can actually have fun while driving and just like try different things, like steering while the other one is driving. We had much fun doing that and other things in the car. The Kiwis are really nice people, and they're always helpful and friendly, and it was nice talking with them. And when they showed us where is a good place to do this and this or to see that, it was always cool. I really recommend going to New Zealand if you like nature and doing hikes, because this is the best country doing it. And well, if you have much time, I'd probably recommend going to New Zealand for about 1 month, because then you can go to the South Island for 2 weeks, and then spend another 2 weeks in the North Island, and then see most of the best places in New Zealand. Well, if you don't have that much time, you could just like go for 1 week in the south and 1 in the north. Or what I heard is that the South Island is actually better in nature, and there are more, there's more stuff to see if you're really into nature and going for hikes. There are like long hikes for 3 days, which you can do. I hope you like this video, and if you haven't been to New Zealand, I really recommend go there sometime soon. And also, if you like it, give it a thumbs up, and if I have left out any cool place which you really have to visit, then write it down in the comments, or if you have any further questions on where to go, what to do, what to see, then just ask them. See you next time.